Hello and welcome to the reading session for Unit 5 of MJM022. In the next 15 minutes, I, Poonam Atreya, and my fellow mate Shlesha Salvi will elaborate on the nuances of feature writing. By now, all of us are very well versed with the types of journalistic writings, and feature writing is one amongst all. Avid readers look forward to it day in and day out. This crucial area of print journalism is called feature article. And why this is so? Because what newspapers accomplish with features, it is believed is difficult for other media to achieve. With this backdrop, I now turn my attention to the elephant in the room. What is a feature? The briefest answer would be anything that is not news. However, in simple terms, a feature article is also a type of journalistic writing that entertains and informs. It escapes the hard news format, allowing creative writers to pen down articles in an innovative and compelling way. Unlike short and to-the-point news articles, feature articles deal with the subject in greater depth and length. Feature articles and stories are getting increased attention these days in order to attract high readership and beef up the presence of newspapers in the marketplace. This is particularly so because a feature is written in a simple, casual and popular language, which is easily digested by the reader. These writings are of lasting value with a longer shelf life and are not perishable like a news item. Let us have a quick look at the slide shown here. A perfect example of a feature by BBC News. It focuses on the present pandemic crisis from an analyst's point of view. Not only does it provide information about the vaccines produced to counter COVID-19, but it also gives the reader an insight into the capability of India as a manufacturer alongside other leading countries in this field. Basically, by reading this feature, I get a rough idea on the following questions. When will I be able to get this vaccine? Will it be enough? Will it be cheap? Moving on, now we will dwell upon the ingredients of a feature. To be able to write a good feature article, one needs to possess gift of the gab and a superb command over the language. Crucial elements of a feature which make it an attractive read are flashed on the screen. I shall briefly touch upon each one to make you comprehend better. Immaculate language. Simple, flawless, fluent and grammatically correct. Avoid using complex ideas, difficult jargons, high-sounding words and heavily loaded sentences at all costs. Express your own views. Provide a color of your own thoughts to the existing news. Make the reader sneak into your mind in order to connect with the article better. In this way, you will earn their loyalty. Be personal. Involve the reader in your story. Gauge their personal attributes and get on board, be it their mood, facial expressions, personal views, color of clothes, be it anything. This will make the readers like it more. Interview, converse, dialogue. Quoting people on the spot adds authenticity and value to your writings or views. Always be on the lookout for such an opportunity during any conversation. Features are longer than news stories. News story merely offers snippets, but a feature is more than that. Acceptable length of a feature is 1000 to 1200 words for a daily newspaper and 1500 to 2000 words for a magazine. Pictures, pictures and more pictures. Remember, no good feature will look attractive enough or be acceptable for publication without at least a couple of good pictures on the most discussed aspect of the feature article. Pictures will add value to your subject and make any topic more attractive and presentable. Finally, look ahead. Plan a feature for forthcoming occasions. Be imaginative. Think ahead of others. Many new things are going to happen in the not too distant future. Festivals, events, for example, Eid, Diwali, Republic Day, Christmas, New Year, the list is endless. Just think. Now we will talk about the types of feature. Frankly speaking, there are no specific kinds or categories of features. However, 8 categories of features have been recognized by many Western professional journalists and noted journalism academicians. This include news features. Such features originate from and are based on important news happenings in and around the country. Yasin Bhatkal and his associates, Uttarakhand floods and its aftermath are some examples covered by the Indian Express. Special event features. Important events being held in the country and everything connected with these events would form an excellent theme. For example, India holding Commonwealth Games, India hosting the UNESCO annual meet. Personality feature. Doing a personal profile of the United Nations General Secretary visiting India for the first time after his appointment, or Michelle Obama's journey to the American White House could be good subjects under this head. Interview feature. Interviewing singer Lata Mangeshkar after she was awarded the Bharat Ratna about her life story and her lifelong achievements as a musician, tracing her early career years can be an ideal topic for an interview feature. How-to features. Guiding users on how to operate or handle sensitive, costly equipment or executing dangerous jobs by providing step-by-step instructions to the users. Background features. Doing a report on an incident that may be connected to a historical event of a similar nature. Example, when the clock tower in Delhi's Chandni Chowk fell down several years ago, many newspapers wrote detailed pieces on its background. These tidbits can form highly readable background features. Investigative features. Probing the causes of communal flare-ups in different parts of the country would be good subjects for investigative features. Color features. Generally written on subjects of which the authors have deep knowledge and thorough understanding, besides adequate command over the language, these topics tend to be light, more descriptive, and frequent creative play on the words. Adventure features. Remember the young girl Bachendri Pal, the first Indian woman to have climbed the Mount Everest? Hers was a unique feat and that formed a subject for an adventure feature. Opinion features. Usually based on expertise or research and with the single aim of expressing personal views on a crucial subject. India's former foreign secretary's view on Sino-India border dispute or role of the US in the Middle East come under this category. Human interest features. A young boy who lost both his hands in a rail accident and paints beautiful sceneries with a paintbrush tucked under his teeth, or a high school pass out winning Rs 5 crore in KBC would be most readable feature stories. Development features. Development communication is an integral part of the modern day media research and education. Development stories from remote, far-flung areas could present a fascinating account and be interesting feature reflecting the progress of ordinary people have made there. Now let us have a look on how to write a feature article. As we have seen, there are ample subjects for writing feature articles. All one needs to be able to write good features are skill and perception to recognize the subject that one wishes to write upon. However, it would be prudent to learn more about the art and craft of writing a feature article before embarking upon. There are two elements involved, stages and steps. Coming on to the first one, stages involved in a feature article. Lead. Every good feature has to have a beginning and that is called the lead, the opening para of an article. It should attract, arrest and hold the attention of the reader in order to make him read it. A lead can be any of this, an abrupt statement, an anecdote or description of a set scene. The second stage is transition. Addressed to the reader which explains in a capsule from your reason in attempting to write this piece. It would further sharpen the inquisitiveness of the reader. The third stage of a feature is development, wherein the theme, issue or subject of the feature is developed further. It is also known as the heart of the feature. The topic should be elaborated upon, ensuring that the reader's interest isn't wearing thin. Interconnected paras, moving point by point, and dotting out information are the elements of this stage. Lastly, the end should leave the reader satisfied and make him or her realize that this was an experience like no other. Could be in form of a joke, anecdote, leaving a lasting smile on the reader's lips. These are not rigid formula but guidelines which should be able to leave a lasting impression on the reader's mind. Now we will talk about the steps involved in writing a feature article. First is choosing a topic. Look around with keen eyes and a sharp, inquisitive mind. A feature will be right in front of you. If you are young, sports, pop stars, music, films, fashion, etc. should interest you as well as the readers. And if you are middle-aged, politics and politicians, finance, health, law and order, defense and security would make some good topics for writing features. The list is endless. Subjects umpteen, topics galore. Preparations needed. Be fully equipped to write the feature well and on time. The following will be necessary and will assist you to do your job well. A rough draft, your notes and reference material, websites, blogs, suitable pictures to go with the feature to highlight the main thrust of the article, and the list is endless. It is very important to be aware of the editorial policy in case you are writing for a newspaper or a magazine. Next is tapping sources for material. As a writer, it is very important to know what information to seek and whom to seek it from, as there is no dearth of agencies. Selecting the best source of information is a skill set which will help you in your endeavors. State and central civic bodies provide accurate and latest information which lends authenticity to your feature. Lastly, researching the topic. An essential part of good feature writing, as most often features have to be packed with facts, figures, statistics and happenings from the past, generally history. The feature writer's most important responsibility is to make sure that whatever details are provided are accurate to the extent possible. In order to assure this, the writer has to do adequate research on the topic that is under treatment. Now we will talk about the difference between news writing and feature writing. By now, you may surely know what is news and how it is written. Please refer to the table as shown for differences between news writing and feature writing. All these points are self-explanatory. However, let me provide an overview of the same. Any news has to be objective, topical, fresh, and composed of bare facts. It is written within a tight deadline and written in an impersonalized manner. It has to be short, sharp, to the point, crisp, packing maximum information in fewest words. A story may or may not be accompanied by a picture. A feature, however, is not written in any formulaic manner. It has a somewhat easy and relaxed timeline. They are mostly personalized and can have opinion and human interest stories too. It has more details to offer and are generally presented in a refined manner, leaving a lasting impression on the reader, and it generally is composed of a lot of pictures. Moving on, let's talk about freelancing features. Being a freelance writer gives you ample opportunities to work with different magazines and newspapers on a regular basis. Although reputed magazines and newspapers have their own regular features department, they are always open to novel ideas from new and upcoming writers, and fresh, timeless and offbeat features are always welcome. It is therefore important to understand how to go about marketing your features. Two ways: feature syndicates or do it on your own. A feature syndicate is a supplier offering an quite considerable menu of comics, editorial cartoons, columns and other features for newspapers across the country. In layman's terms, it is an agent for marketing your feature. Indian News and Feature Alliances is a notable example. Secondly, do it on your own. Although this point is self-explanatory, it is important to understand one simple fact: how to know who wants what, when, how much and how often, or basically studying the market. There are two ways to do this: by personal contacts or by being familiar with the contents of publications, their policies, interest of their readers, etc. Knowing the areas of interest of a publication holds high regard. The next step is then contacting editors. As you are already aware, the editor of any publication is the one who lays down rules and regulations on all crucial editorial matters. However, commissioning or accepting feature articles are generally the responsibility of news editor or feature editor or an assistant editor. It is therefore important to get in touch with the person or the relevant department nominated for the job. It is always advisable to use email or a personal written correspondence instead of telephone while contacting the agency. By this, we have reached the end of the presentation. To conclude, I would like to sum up the entire chapter in a nutshell. We started off with understanding what a feature is and what does it entail, also giving you a small example of a feature. Then we moved on to study the important ingredients of a feature article, types of features and stages, followed by steps involved in writing a feature. A sneak peek into the differences between feature and news, which was then followed by tips on how to go about freelancing features. Since this is the first time for me on a completely new subject, I am most welcome to any feedbacks and guidance on your part. Thank you and have a good day.